Yo, what up, YouTube? I'm surprising my chat by doing a YouTube entrance. And because I'm surprising my chat, I'm gonna let them be on the screen with me. Yay! They're gonna be on the screen with me, and you're gonna watch me set it up. Yay! My chat's gonna be on the screen with me. Yay! 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 Okay. Hey. 2 years ago, I uploaded a video called The Worst Advert Shoot Experience I've Ever Had, a recap of being gaslit by bad people. I am not going to obviously sit here and make you watch this entire video, but I heavily suggest it will be in the description down below. I heavily suggest you go click it if you want my entire story. This video is not about the entire story, matter an amalgamation of stories. The long and short of it is I worked for a company called Soul Strategies, and they had hired me to shoot an advert for them. And I thought it was super cool and super nice because they were already getting me a few jobs shooting adverts with other politicians. I thought this would be the simplest one. I'm working with the crew. We're going out for India Walton's election, knocking on doors. I'm going to get mad footage. And inside of this, I tell you all the horrible shit that happened to me, all the passive aggressiveness, all the rudeness, to the point where, like, almost live on television, they had me crying in the middle of the street. I didn't want to assume anything outside of that situation other than maybe I just upset them somewhere down the road and like that pissed them off more than anything, and maybe they were having a reaction to that. This all ends with me getting stranded in Buffalo, and luckily for them, I had the resources to get the fuck back to the airport to catch my flight. But waking up and finding out that they took all the stuff out of the Airbnb and just left me there and took my gifts as well for my dad, not paying me my rate, skimming and scamming me on my rate to the point where it was supposed to be $3,000 that they were supposed to pay me, and they only paid me $1,000 to end up using my ad anyway, and then firing everyone that was in the ad anyway. This video goes into the gist of that. I bring this up to you because now
This video might get me into
another story has hit the tower. So now that we're naming people out loud, now I don't have to be afraid to name them, even though I didn't name them at all throughout the hour and a half of that long-ass video I made. With receipts, by the way, there are still Snapchat and video receipts that I have of footage that I took when they did the funky shit that they did. Zico and Sanchez is the leader of a new movement that's supposed to be called Fuck America, which is like a canvassing event or whatever. I know for a fact that woman should not have any power whatsoever. I know for a fact. See my surprise when months, years later, more stories start coming out. Take a listen.
legal trouble, but you guys gave me a platform for a reason, and I'm not going to take that for granted fucking ever. Remember that. Remember that. I know who gave me this platform. I'm on my way to Texas for the UnF America tour. Basically, they sponsored a trip for a bunch of us creators to go and fuck with Charlie Kirk at Texas A&M. And at first, I was a little apprehensive to take it because I don't like the Jubilee fucking, we're here to debate, I'm not going to platform conservatives, whatever, like stupid bullshit, right? I don't fucking like that shit. But a lot of my friends, people that I've grown to like on this app who are very intelligent, were going, and I was like, oh wow, okay, cool, so maybe this is something completely different. I ended up signing on, right? Turns out the lead organizer, who was horrible at organizing, by the way, I want to point that out, had no clue, still have no clue what the fuck we're even going there to do. I actually have a whole other plan planned.
And yo, the way that was the way that we did when we went up to Buffalo. There was clearly no plan. There was clearly, we're just gonna eat, enjoy, fuck around, and if we win, we win. If we lose, we go home.
I don't know what the fuck anybody else is doing, but I'm going there to do something actually dope as fuck. But anyway, the lead organizer, turns out she's incredibly racist. She hopped on a live last night where a bunch of black women creators on this app, who are obviously in the political space, were a little upset, voicing their concerns, talking about how they felt about the Unfuck America tour. And the lead organizer didn't like that very much, and so she hopped on there to spew, anti-black rhetoric, especially towards black women, making them sound like bullies and aggressive, and it was really gross. It was really gross. It was really gross. There's no way you watch this and don't think she's racist, by the way. Like, I went into it going like, what happened? Is this you know what I mean? Like, I need to make sure what happened before I come and give any information to anybody, okay? There is no other way to interpret what she did. She was just being racist. Like telling them that black women, making them sound like she hopped on there, thought the unfuck, voicing them who are in the political space were a little joined. They were being incredibly respectful from what I saw. Like telling them that because black women are involved, and how could it be problematic they didn't invite black women on this trip doing the thing that black women have been doing the best forever. I also want to point out, before she joined, they were being incredibly respectful from what I saw. Okay? And even if they weren't, you're the fucking organizer for Unfuck America. You're the face of the brand. You're the one reaching out to creators. You reached out to me. Who the fuck cares if someone has an opinion of Unfuck America that doesn't jive with whatever the fuck you think it is? I don't know that her views reflect that of the entirety of the Unfuck America tour. So, personally, I have one gripe with one person, the person who organized this, who was the person who decided not to include a lot of black women on this trip. And I also think I can do her job better than her. So here's what I want you guys to do. Down below, tag your favorite BIPOC women creators, okay? Tag them below so they see this video. And if you guys see this video, if you can make it to Texas A&M on April 22nd, right? April 22nd, let's all meet up. Let's all make some content.
That's today, by the way, as the day of recording this.
Together. Let's all grow your platforms to the size that mine are, while telling Unfuck America to go fuck itself until they get this racist out of the organization spot. Deal? Deal. Okay. Unfuck America, feel free to reach out to me because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions about this video, and I'm very sorry to tell you this, but I do not care. Also want to point out for the record, my views are my views alone. Any creators that I may be involved with or friends with, they do not share the same sentiments. However, if you are a creator friend of mine, we're probably friends because I think you're dope as shit. So if you want to meet up while we're at Texas A&M, shoot me at the end.
So this obviously calls into question a lot of how I got into politics. This also solves a lot of what they tried to do around helping me fundraise, helping the other people fundraise. Sounds more and more like a scam each day. But it continues.
Excuse me, my man. I wasn't going to do this, and I really didn't want to, and I made a longer video before because I don't want this to be what my content's about. I'd rather be talking about all of my interests, whether it be in sociology or culture or media, rather than sitting here and talking about this lipless lackey who decided to yell at me for asking her questions. I ain't going to lie to y'all. But I'm the person who that aggression was placed at, honestly. I personally went ahead and blocked Z. That's clearly not somebody who actually genuinely cares about anything, but I just want to note the only things that we were doing up there were asking questions. And to me, as somebody who's had experience doing some of this, I'm not saying I'm the ultimate organizer or some shit like that, but as somebody who's had my little bit of experience in this, as somebody who knows a little thing about VR too, if the person who is leading the charge, if the person who is the main person behind this behaves like that in a movement, because that's what they want this to be, a movement, mind you, that we're not allowed to critique or criticize because apparently we have a bunch of marginalized people doing all the grunt work despite the fact that the two headliners are two cishet white guys. Anyway, and that's not to say I don't think that they should be involved. I think racist people, the kind of people that are supporting Charlie Kirk, would never take any of the information I'm willing to give, which this was also pointed out in the live, from people that look like me. There's a reason why they're the headliners. But anyway, what I'm saying is that if a movement like this is supposed to be backed by someone like Z, America isn't the only thing that needs to get unfucked, okay? Her behavior, her rhetoric, and frankly, her fucking attitude, it's not needed for something as important, seemingly important to y'all, as something like this.
Now, it would behoove me to retread my story and explain to you all the little ins and outs, because you might be a new viewer and you're like, I don't want to sit through an hour and a half video to like understand what the fuck is happening here. Can't you splice in pieces of the old video so we can see what's happening in the new video? And it's like, just go watch the video. It's so much better than the original. It hits so well. I've sat this video in front of my chat and like gained viewers while they watch it. Trust me, you're gonna fuck with it. But I will say, it is very, very funny to me that she surrounded herself with a bunch of POC at the beginning and then effectively fired them all. Now, in that old video, I don't think I ever got to continue it without the story and show you like the old website, the old setup, everything like that. This is Z. These are the people who works under her. I'm going to tell you right now, outside of one name, Diana Gaines, all of these people, I do not know who they are. They were not with the original group of people who started this company. Whatever. Here is what kicks my ass, okay? Here's what breaks my soul. So here I am with my titties out, chilling, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. With my titties out, chilling. So I'm like, let me click one of the last podcasts she uploaded, because they had a podcast, and let me see, like, what maybe was going on. Maybe I could have seen something coming.
For more Biden, the key, and what we've seen about
why he was an opponent.
These campaigns
Each
study really
together.
to sort of start.
Stop now. Let's keep it going.
And those things are definitely
Okay, hold on.
To these racy ambition, pursuing higher of research, not only to win the issue, to the local event.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
And he pays me. And he says, my life is turned around. The more you collect,
Raising forces.
homeless people. So there's no apology. There's no guilt. There's a clear mission that feels better for them. And we ask for the money. Same.
And help with the discipline.
Investing clients. What we've been investing clients.
So that you can actually structure yourself to do that which you desire for your races.
For more information, head over to soulstrategies.com now.
Wait a minute. That voice sounds familiar.
So that you can actually structure yourself to do that which you desire for your races.
For more information, head over to soulstrategies.com now.
Can you imagine my surprise? You're using my voice still for your podcast? After the way you treated me? You're using my voice on a podcast? I need money for that. So already you can see me kind of tied in deeply with these people, right? With this person. But there's more. There's so much more.
Okay, so big news. I'm officially going to be joining the Unfuck America Tour, and I'm so excited to tell you exactly what that means. The Unfuck America Tour is a grassroots organization focused on calling out disinformation, far-right extremism, and actually organizing on the ground.
I wonder if this is a ploy to get energy and directions towards. So what I was unaware of is that Z has a different account than the one that she's been low-key stalking my TikTok on. This is a former Bernie staffer who is so disillusioned that she believes she can change politics by pure drive. I promise you, in the corners of her mind, she does not give a fuck about any of this. She wants the attention. She wants all eyes on her. That is the type of person that she is. That is the type of person that is organizing large amounts of energy.
You're the face of the Fuck America tour, and then you're going to do the very thing that's fucking America right now and engage in and be racist? Seriously? How does that work? And then I am finding it so funny how the things that I've been saying here for the last week and I've been getting tore to shreds about, how racism and anti-blackness is not taken serious on this side of the political spectrum. Now, there are certain people that are supposed to be underneath the Unfuck America tour, and I'm not saying that they don't care about racism and anti-blackness, but I'm just saying that there were very strong opinions about what was going on with the Harry Sisson situation, and he was terrible in that situation. I don't know why he was doing that shit in the first place, but I've been seeing people call out the lead organizer for the Unfuck America tour now for about a day or two, and coincidentally, I'm not seeing this same push to action like, oh, we have to separate ourselves, this is not good, let me call out. Why? Like, why? I don't understand. Why are these things not taken more serious? It doesn't make any sense to me. But when I say these things, you guys want to get in my comments and my DMs and tear me to shreds. Just, we're observing the same thing.
I was right. And I sat there in anxiety and smoke anxiety for weeks before, during, and after my interaction with them on a one-to-one level to their faces. I sat there and thought for years I was the bad person because I've never seen a reaction like that. Maybe I truly fucked up. Turns out.
Hi. I live last night talking about the Unfuck America tour. I just want to address a few things that just kept on being misconstrued or just simply misrepresented. That I have some type of weird issue that Dean and Parker are going to be leading this conversation. That's not the case. It was more about the broader conversations about white people leading conversations about marginalized issues when they're not marginalized themselves. Never did I say that I didn't appreciate what they're doing or what's going to be happening on this upcoming tour. Two, that I was being too nitpicky. No. I'd be questioning if there's safety nets in place for marginalized people that are going to be in that tour, or if the tour is even genuinely organized, is being nitpicky, then I guess so. Rock out. I do hope that this event goes off with a banger. I have no...
Z has problems with being incredibly defensive and attacking. These are just comments. These do not reflect the values of the actual situations that are going on. I can only tell you my personal experience and what we're about to watch. Z has problems with being incredibly defensive and attacking anyone who criticizes things she stands, like Bernie, UFA, etc. The overt racism and denial of racism, sexism in the elections is... Just check the post of hers. She lashes out when people ask if she has black female creators on her tour. She stated plain as day she's only doing this for young radical white men and why the face are other white men. This tour is for white people by white people. Of course she doesn't give a fuck about having black female creators on the tour. I thought she would at the very least, be going radio silent to maybe collect her thoughts, but nope. So you know what I gotta take you on YouTube. You gotta go with me on the ride. You gotta go with me on the ride. So let's take a look.
So a student who knew the alleged...
This post is kind of crazy considering you were all saying, all you were saying to those beautiful black women. Your reposts are fairly recent, so I assume you're filtered in context, but your conduct on that live was unacceptable, and your behavior association is hurting this cause. LOL, she's deleting comments. I commented twice about her unbecoming conduct, and both posts have evaporated in the stratosphere. Gone. She's clearly not interested in growing as a leader or a person.
Bro, I just paid my taxes.
This should really piss you off.
You're so worried about the leaps and hurdles that you'll have to go through as a...
Yeah, you're going to want to stay till the end. Watch this.
Oh, my shirt, everybody. My shirt says fuck Charlie Kirk. It's got Dean and Parker on it.
Last night while most of us were asleep, you've probably heard...
Okay, so she's clearing out comments. Which means, you know what we gotta do? We need to see what happened. Z joins. We're jumping right to the...
Wait, stop. Hey, Z, before you go.
Oh my God.
Before you go.
Support. It's great. It's great to see that the left is finally coming together.
Hey, I wasn't done speaking. I apologize, Z.
This is another white tea.
I want to make sure. No, Z, I want to hear from them. This is their campaign. This is their thing. I would love to hear from you, Z, but I was in the middle of speaking, and I'm actually going to put myself back on big screen. I definitely want to hear from Erica because I like her.
I had to saying it goes, and then like the next part of the thing, it goes into a synopsis about who Charlie Kirk is and what his group is about. I didn't know who the turning point of USA was until I read this. The turning point of the USA is a far right organization. And they're saying because they're turning. You're saying that majority of y'all don't even want to address him. Isn't this false advertisement?
It's a lie.
I mean, no.
Wait, no, it's not a lie. I want to make this very clear. I like a lot of these things that we're saying. I feel like we're just saying because a lot of these we don't fuck with these creators or we don't know these creators like that. I want to make this very clear. I personally don't see anything wrong with the fucking tour itself. That is not my issue at all. The issue is that, other people are saying why they're going up there. Okay, they're going up there to spread representation as a black woman or as a woman or as a queer person, yada, yada. That's great. Like what Chris said, he's going up there because he's not only in that state, but he thinks it's very important, to be a part of that conversation. That's a beautiful thing to see. My issue is,
so far so based. I think we can all agree, so far so based.
if you guys are saying that it's going to be more than just, once again, messing with Charlie Kirk, they should have been at least a little bit more clear, even on the website. And once again, that 40-second clip that I did show on the actual Un-America account on TikTok, it seemed like that was the main reason why they were going to do so. And that is my only issue with the way that it's just been talked about. That's all. As a matter of fact, I don't want y'all, once again, I don't want all my mutuals up here. If you are part of this tour, space is open for y'all. Just letting you guys know. If you're part of the tour, if you have some that of what you name.
Top of that, really, just because this is incredibly and disorganized, frankly. But the fact that everybody, I think what Simply's trying to do with the flyers, I think what Chris is trying to do, I think what Mermaid wants to do is great. 100%. I think that's fantastic. I think it should have been discussed far more in that first promotional video in this website. And I think you guys have altruistic good goals, but then you have Z, the person who is doing this, is saying the point of this is to register voters. So to us, it's just confusion.
Yeah.
I'm not even, I just want to say this really quickly. I'm not opposed to this. I am team get on that gummy man's ass.
Yeah, literally.
Absolutely. He more than deserves it.
Yeah,
but my whole thing is it's sad.
Bye, Chris. Thank you for coming up here. Appreciate it.
Oh, bye. With that is that
Z,
it feels...
that's the part of this right here. 1 second.
Oh, shit. Okay. Now we have context. The moment of truth is here. I want to listen to this because, again, I've made an 1.5 hour long video. I've slept in the same house as these people, smoked the same weed. They bought me food. They paid for my travel. I'm not going to go full balls to the wall, even though I have legitimate evidence that would send me in that direction.
Okay, perfect. It's sad that what these black people, I think Hannah was trying to say, I'm not sure, but what they're trying to do isn't at the forefront of this. It's apparently to get register voters now.
Yeah, before you go.
Oh my God. Before you go, it's great.
Thanks for the support. It's great. You hear her tone? That is exactly how she sounds in real life. When somebody really doesn't like you but can't hide it to save their life, that's how she talks normally.
Hey, it's great to see that the left is finally coming together.
Hey, I wasn't done speaking. I apologize, Z.
Another white tea.
I want to make sure. No, Z. I want to hear from them. This is their campaign. This is their thing. I would love to hear from you, Z. But I was in the middle of speaking, and I'm actually going to put myself back on big screen, so there's no confusion. Sorry about that. All right. So just to clarify, once again, want y'all to come up here, speak your piece and everything and all that, right? We'll try to be as respectful and everything. And I'm really not liking the fact that in the comments, it's like suddenly you guys forgot why we are having this conversation. It's not the fact that
it's because you've been locked into the shift. I told you, once you start watching, you get hooked. It don't matter what I do, you just get hooked. And you're like, you know what? This guy Marquise, he don't seem like a bad guy. He seemed a little normal. I could get down with that. I could boogie with that.
That this is going to be hosted. It's whether it's going to be a net negative or whether it's going to be quote unquote harmful or more positive. That is the entire point of the conversation. We're not saying don't have it. We're not saying don't have the tour. We're not saying that we disagree with the tour. Right? I think it's great. I think it's going to be funny. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some great things that are going to be talked about. But the conversation is also about how marginalized people are going to possibly experience, what they're going to experience after the tour, or what's actually going to be happening during the tour. You guys aren't actually listening to us, and that is the issue.
The fact that these two white boys are the headliners.
You guys are putting words in our mouth when we've been very clear and.
Oh, it's Dean? No wonder they're lashing out. Yo, Dean. I love what Dean is doing, but this is literally the clout vacuum I said. If it walks like Hassan and talks like Hassan, we will use it like Hassan.
About what we've been trying to say.
But when you say,
Z, I wasn't talking about you.
Don't fucking holler. Shut up.
I wasn't talking about you, Z. I was just saying other people in the comments. I don't think you said shit about me or anything.
Sorry, I think it's happening again. Where when we say these two white boys at the front, people's cognitive dissonance goes, I don't know what you're saying.
Right, they make it seem like we're talking shit about them. Exactly.
They genuinely think that we. Why are you talking? We're not talking to you.
Oh shit.
Can you
Okay.
wait until
Like Shane has been
please.
quiet this entire time. I don't understand why you can't do the same.
Okay,
Yeah, and Shane.
That's my
Yeah,
bad.
Shane. Technically, Z. Before you go, Shane has been here first, so I would love to hear from them.
I do
Also,
not
thank you, Shane,
mind
for being
waiting.
respectful.
I do not
Yeah,
mind
no, I
waiting
really-
because I would
I
rather
appreciate it.
let it marinate, and I would like to say something to speak on things as well. But I also know the space I'm in. I am a white man, so let me know when it's good to clear.
It's that easy. It's that easy, dog. He didn't even have to say that. It just be like, I know this ain't my place. Y'all do what y'all gotta do.
Put it on mute, and please see if you want to say something to address this because I think it's
No.
important. Or me? Okay.
She
I'm allowed to
speak
talk?
when I let her.
Okay. I just want to
Try
make sure I
B.
follow the rules because, like, for real, I want to be cognizant of the space that I'm in because I'm still a white individual and appreciate even giving me
You
a
don't
moment to
have to
speak.
do that. Just jump right in.
Yeah,
Shane, I promise you.
Listen, no,
you
you
don't
gotta
have to
set
do this.
example.
And that's what I mean by when people like that fucking white supremacist said, "Oh, this is white guilt." No, it isn't, dog. I know most people in this situation would jump at the chance to like snark in and throw in mad shit based on what they're hearing, but I want to set an example and let people know we are aware of changing dynamics. And that means that at some points I will have to just say out loud, "You know what? I'm white," and walk away. Sorry to bring the Boondocks back, but haha, wait a minute. I'm white.
No, hell no. Don't tell me I don't have to do that because you have to set examples for the other white motherfuckers that don't know what's up. Because for real. Listen, okay. Z, I didn't know you were going to even come up here, but I now just want to say something just in terms of the harm. I host a podcast with a black trans woman. And simultaneously, I have to be aware as a producer of the difference experience that she has and the harm that she experiences when I create these episodes and even in the hate comments and everything that I do not experience because I am white, male, passing, presenting, etc., etc., etc. Blossom, my co-host, experiences extreme harm. So I think what I've heard so far on the panel and what I've kind of seen so much, and I'm going to be as quick as possible, the Unfuck tour to me feels really inauthentic. I think it started out as a great idea, maybe for two guys personally.
Weak, pathetic, white guilt, milquetoast piece of human garbage.
Jeez, Gazorp, that's, you're pretty mean to me, but that takes the cake.
I don't give a I'm Gazorp Field, bitch. Now give me my enchilada. Hey, Rick, did they use Bill Murray for this? Sounds a lot like Bill Murray. Morty, it's Lorenzo Music. In this reality, he's still alive. Oh, okay. Was his name Lorenzo Music? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He also did the voice of that one guy from Ghostbusters, which is really strange because it's the same character Bill Murray played in the movie, but then when they made the movie, Bill Murray did the voice of Gazorp, or Garfield, I mean. Yeah, that's pretty cool, Rick. So
to do something, and then they might have received some backlash, and they're like, okay, let's last minute add some folks of color because now we got to diversify it. And that's kind of what it feels like to me. It feels not planned out. It feels like
you're wrong.
Okay, after all that was just said, her first words out her mouth before he even finished were, "You're wrong." When I tell you, I think she has a fetish for like employing and or working over minorities. I can't fathom how to say this and not have it come off like if it's not on purpose, it's something innate. Do y'all understand what I mean by that? There are microaggressions and there's shit you can get away with because you know that person knows where they at. Type shit. That demeanor after hearing that perfect explanation is what sets the stage for me to have even made this follow-up video, to even give a shit that her name came back up. Because this ain't the first person I've heard of with experiences like this. She likes to work with a bunch of people, and when they don't make her enough money, she dumps them all. That's how she functions. This isn't we're talking shit. This isn't an expose. This is real life facts.
No, hold on. But before, I'll give you plenty of time. And I'm sure there's a lot of information I don't know, and I will always acknowledge that because that's just what we're being presented on the internet, too. You have to also acknowledge that's what we're all consuming from what's being put out, especially by Dean and Parker. I experienced Dean and Parker on the set personally with Julie, And I had issues with that alone in the way that they took up space, especially when there was a lot of women that were there that wanted to talk on women's issues, but these two wanted to fight for the chair so hard. And I will always be very uncomfortable with that because a lot of people flew from different states. And these two gentlemen were, you can even see them sliding on camera for Jubilee, taking away time and space when they had a platform. They could have just had their one moment and moved on and let those other folks speak. So I've seen Dean and Parker not only do that, but go on lives talking about trans issues, saying incorrect things, saying they know a trans person. When I shook their hand on set, I have no clue who these gentlemen are. And it was a really weird live that I watched, and I was really uncomfortable them using my name while simultaneously like saying incorrect information about trans people. So I can only imagine the harm that anybody of color, especially Black women like Julianne experienced. I don't know her full story. We actually did a podcast together, self-promotion, sorry, shameless. And her story is really important to actually learn about how the effects of everything that happened to her and the platform that she has, why she does it, what she's trying to do. Because yes, Dean and Parker have done some stuff and they've made some waves, and I will give them flowers for that. I will acknowledge that. But at the same time, you know, I've gone on debate lives and I've noticed this toxic kind of pissing contest that they've now created of this, like, let's get information and data and da-da-da-da-da. And there's not this real human connection. And the people like myself who...
Yo. This is yet again another check in the box for shit that I said was going to cause issues later down the line if we didn't shift the paradigm of who we made famous. Once you start telling people that this is the way to do it, this is the formula, you eliminate a whole swath of people who can provide that and more. The more seems like trying too hard. Eventually you peel back all the layers. Everyone's doing everything except trying too hard. Then it collapses. Because, of course, at some time, somebody's going to have to say, I'm getting too old for this. Who the next? A bunch of people who we told, you do this, you win. I'm so nostalgic. Why doesn't things feel as good as they used to? Because you asked for that.
Is a minority and folks of color and so many different folks that are actually marginalized. The conversation's no longer really about changing people. It's about a pissing contest of who can slam dunk on each other and who can get the most Venmos from this person and that person. And I'm sorry, like, that to me has not done what it is being promoted to be doing. I'm watching this toxic rhetoric form in so many shape or ways on TikTok lives, and there's no real consequences in the same way that I see Charlie Kirk talk about these issues. Dean and Parker will never experience what it's like to be trans. They'll never experience what it's like to be Black. And when they're constantly speaking on those issues, it makes myself very uncomfortable. It makes a lot of people very uncomfortable because they're never going to fully have the lived experience of what that's like. And there's going to be a lot of gaps in their education of what they're saying. There's going to be a lot of things that are harmful that they're not even going to experience. They're just going to hang up their TikTok phone, enjoy their little PayPal requests, and move on with their life. And it's
because it's very easy to slip up and say something wrong in a debate. When that second person keeps harping on you for, didn't you say this? Didn't you say this? You have to eventually say, yes, I got that wrong. Well, doesn't that call into question everything else you got wrong? And so it begins.
And to me, it's like, I literally have to worry about a passport right now. I have to worry about possibly being sent to El Salvador because they're talking about mentally ill trans people. It's not a life that is easy to live. And I think the Unfuck tour could have done better with reaching out to more folks, including myself. I mean, I'm the only person in the history of this planet that's ever shut down Ben Shapiro, and I'm kind of disappointed that I wasn't even reached out to in any way, shape, or form. But I'm not bitter about it in that sense because trans men always get erased. But I think it's really important to understand the intersectionalities of different people and how we can actually change this, because just putting these two 21-year-old, 22-year-old white boys up there just because they got 1 million following, like, you're looking at the metrics. You're not looking at the effectiveness of what is actually going to change people, get these votes changed, actually change minds, because we are dealing with literal fascism and Nazis right now. And playing games with PR bullshit and making such huge mistakes and harming people in that space is not just harming myself, it's harming a lot of other people. And I'm sure there's going to be rhetoric and you're going to experience a lot of anger and a lot of different things. People are valid to feel that way. They feel upset by the way.
What is this group for? Just canvassing for votes? The fact that the answer to that question is no, but that's what you've gathered, is exactly what these people are talking about. This tour is an extension of this person that I've worked for before. I unironically think you were here for this story, the advert story. This person, Z, is not that great at people, but you work in people-powered politics. She started this idea of the Unfuck America tour where we're going to go around and shut down these weirdo right-wingers who spread all the whatever, blah, blah, blah. However, the description is all over the place. Are we going for this purpose? Are we going for that purpose? Who are the leaders? Who is stepping in front of us? Turns out that the leaders are Dean Withers and the other guy. I keep forgetting his fucking name. So a lot of black creators who were reached out for specifically feel like, wait a minute, if two white guys are the lead of this, and there's no clear goal on what we're doing here, are we just using our names and likeness to do busy work? Like, what's the point of the tour? So they sat and had a conversation about it. And Z jumped on the live. This person is trying to make a point before she talks, even though she keeps opening her mouth to stop this from happening. And now we continue.
Way that this has been produced. And now I understand, again, not everybody has the information. Not everybody's... You are also going to be able to fill us in on a lot of gaps on why things happen the way they are. Mm-hmm. But also, I think it's really important to still acknowledge that people can be harmed, and it's important to make a step and acknowledge and be accountable for it. Like, don't gaslight folks and be like, hey, well, this didn't really happen. It's so much better to actually be like, you know what, this was the mistake, this is what we did, and this is how we're going to correct it. Because building trust with so many different communities is so important. And if you're going to sit here and say we're going to fuck America, realize America is not just white boys. It's all of us together. So you've got to bring in these voices simultaneously and have these conversations in a respectful way. And I think that it's important also to understand, to say, well, you know what, you guys go build your own thing. That's kind of bullshit, because we know the funding behind this is so much better. And I think it's important to create a cohesive plan together instead of just making it a white thing and a black thing and a trans thing and all these weird sectors. When clearly divided we fall, together we stand. So that's my whole soapbox. Thank you so much for the time. I will stay here, so if there's any response needed, I apologize if I took up too much time, but I think it's important, again, to really always be aware of intersectionalities, because even myself as a white trans man, I can make mistakes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Frick, we missed Smoke O'Clock. We
for coming up here, Shane, and
all right,
2 cents on this.
Let's go.
Once again, you know what? Let me not address the comments. Let me shut up. Z, you are. Let me not address it. Let me not address it. If you guys are, like, for those that are actively listening to what we have to say, I do appreciate y'all. Once again, this is not attack against Dean or Parker. Okay, I do.
It's crazy because
like we've been making that very clear.
We disagree
for the
with each
time.
other on this topic. I just need to say this really quickly because it's genuinely agitating me. We literally disagree with each other on this topic, on how to go about this. I think I've literally said, I don't think it's a bad tour. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's totally fine to do at the end of the day. But I think it's valid to have questions and criticisms. For instance, what are the protections for the people of color, the marginalized people that will be attending this? Is there going to be more money given to those people about giving out these flyers? I think it's fucking ridiculous for your... you know what? I think it's fucking ridiculous for you, a white woman, to tell me, a black woman who has done several organizations.
I think from bare bones, having 2 white men as a forefront is always going to be a net negative. Bias, you have already lost this, right? So it's being used against me. So I'm sure when a black person is yelling, you just hear yelling.
Okay.
Why would
I apologize to the YouTube, but I did not piece this correctly.
The issues that a lot of YT people have when they hold to particular progressive standards is that in order to get other white people to listen, they need to have white people at the forefront.
Yeah.
But I think the second you capitulate to any form of racism or bias, you have already lost this, right? So despite the fact that people are working really hard to get all this up and moving, no, I would actually make the argument that it still causes some significant harm. So I don't know why you have an issue with me, because I don't know who you are, but it seems like you already have a particular bias going on here. So I would like you to, if you do have a bias, I would like for you to tell me that. But I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you tokenize the black and brown people that work with you as if that makes other black people unable to critique them.
I also want to note as
that I wasn't open to critique. That's what I'm not understanding, the tokenization
your response
part.
was
but
that.
Julie, the reason why was because the first time I ever saw you was you yelling at Hannah. So
Okay. Do you see how the first time she speaks, she immediately snaps to what she just said? The first time I saw you, you were yelling at Hannah. Why are you bringing up personal shit?
I assumed.
So wait a minute,
already
do you
had
not
a
know
big
the
problem.
context for that?
Dang it, see?
No,
see,
she doesn't. She said she had just come in like.
Are they comparing activist CVs? No. She keeps denying their experiences and saying, I think you've got it all wrong. Or saying, you've got it all wrong, and I'm not going to sit here and accept this criticism, which is launching them into, after we've explained ourselves so fucking well, you're going to sit here and still say, like, we're all just a bunch of bitches chatting? Okay.
Like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so this is what I mean. One second. So this is what I mean. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. What you just described there was like insanely dangerous. Hannah had brought up something extremely traumatic that had happened to me and tried to derail the entire conversation. And obviously I'm going to be a little bit triggered when people try to weaponize like literal violence, racial violence, misogynist violence, sexist violence being used against me. So I'm sure when a black person is yelling, you just hear yelling. But
Why
what
would you
she
say
had
that?
said, what she had said, what she
And now it immediately starts to unravel. Do you see how fast? This is what I've been saying from day one about folding under fucking questioning. That's what I mean. Here it is in real world. Your first real world application. When shit like this, when you hear somebody say something and your first reaction is to go there, that tells me more about you than it does me. Now, unfortunately, the dynamics are really fucked on this situation. I am, i.e., stepping out to make a claim. But the way you show ass and like, it's like, bro, did you punch that grandma? So what if I did? It's like, wait a minute. Whoa, you cannot move past the fact that we got something right. That's what snapped this person off. The first impression I had of you, you were yelling at somebody. So do you just think all black people yell? Like, what does that have to do? Why are you setting up the conversation so that way our first engagement with a group of people is, oh, she yells a lot. She's really loud and boisterous. She's, one of them women. Excuse me?
What she had said was deeply harmful to me. So the fact that you just see it as me bullying sweet little white Hannah is a problem.
Yeah,
that's
she's
a problem,
not white,
baby.
I also want to know
Arab people can be white.
Can we establish
It's not a
this?
race. Arab is not a race.
Y'all,
Go one
please.
at a
I just
time,
also want to.
please,
I want to
because-
note again, right? So I do think it's really interesting, and you're not the only one doing this. I will say the comments are doing this either. This weird idea that nobody in here has ever done any sort of any kind of organizing or whatever. Why do you
Yeah, that
think
was a weird
Tabby said what
assumption.
Tabby said? What I said? What I said?
Nobody said that.
You did say that.
You
Wait,
did,
I
though.
said
You
that
made-
nobody has organized anything. That
Yes.
came out of my
You,
mouth.
you literally did. I don't know if you forgot, but it was
That was
something
the
that
first
you
thing you
said.
I said organize. No, what I said specifically, Ice, was that organizing people, 50 people to go out of state is not an easy job.
No.
And now since you asked that question earlier, that's what made them bring that up.
Nobody said it was. Nobody said it was.
This is not looking good. And I already was coming into this with like you probably not going, you're not going, you're not going, da, 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 da. No, I was wrong. I was so wrong. We were wrong. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I believe.
So what I'm
Wait,
trying to say.
wait. Was that me saying that nobody
No,
is
Yes,
ever
and
organized?
yes, because I specifically.
That's not.
If this is Dean and Parker's tour, what
Very
they say
sorry.
the
I
tour
pressed a button.
Freaking advocating for things that are.
Period. And that's the reason why. But telling you, helpless youth, just the youth. And that's
Okay,
when
well,
you came
you
in
don't
and
know
you
what
said
you're
that.
talking
And-
about.
You know what?
Sorry,
No,
so this
how
is
about
exactly my
wait?
point.
Sorry.
This
okay.
is exactly
Sorry.
my point.
Sorry. I'm not explaining it over again. Somebody who scorned me a long time ago finally showed face to a bunch of black people is the story. If you really want to know the entire story, watch the YouTube video, just like everybody else is doing.
Go ahead, Ice,
Perfect.
and then we're
This
gonna.
is
I think I got
exactly
this in
my
order.
point. I think it's fucking ridiculous for your. You know what? I think it's fucking ridiculous for you, a white woman, to tell me, a black woman who has done several organizations for black communities, for people of color, for houseless people, houseless youth, just the youth, about me not knowing anything about organization. I think that's fucking hilarious. As somebody who's like done exactly what you're doing, I'm telling you right now, it's incredibly disorganized. Maybe it's a short time period. And that's the reason why. But you're shit at your job. What I am saying, right, is on top of that, you know what, even forget everything else, because Elena brought up an excellent point. You want to come up here and you want to wank yourself off to the work that black people, marginalized people are doing. But then at the same time, you won't even put them at the front line of your bullshit ass website. Shut the fuck up. You useless ass, lipless ass, assless, loser ass bitch. Don't ever come here and talk to black people like that again. Question.
Yo. This is what I mean, yo. This is what we need more of. We need to shove people into lockers both verbally and physically. All right? We're shoving people into lockers now.
A crunching nonsense human. Anyway,
So I'm just going to talk about why we're doing the tour, since none of y'all know how to have a proper conversation. So,
whoa! Oh, shit! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! This is not good at all.
the reason for this spot.
What happened?
The guys, don't skip her. I actually want to have a
Wait, no.
one-on-one
Who
conversation
dropped
with her.
them? I listen. I don't
Guys,
like that. Who dropped them?
Who did that?
It was literally her turn to go. Who dropped them?
Guys,
You can't ask everyone a question now. On Showtime because no one has a response.
That is
Can I-
true.
That was torture. What the hell?
That's true. Who dropped them?
Guys,
Can I be
have a
honest with you?
one-on-one?
It wasn't me.
Can I have a quick
Wait,
one-on-one
Tabby,
without anybody
Ali wants
interrupting?
to get to the bottom of it.
got come on.
Dang it, Riot. Why did you drop them?
I didn't drop. What? I didn't do it.
Oh, I thought you said it was you.
Was what she said
I
not
said
face
it
racism?
wasn't me.
Wait, was what she said not face off racism? That
Yeah, it
everyone-
was.
You know what it is? 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 You know what it is to me? You know what it is to me? You know what it is to me? It's the speed, dog. Like, I personally have sat up here for hours with somebody who I knew was racist. And, like, I kept trying to bring them back from the ledge because they would run towards it. And I'm like, well, you don't have to do that. We could reframe the conversation so, it doesn't go there. Like, what was his name? Todd from Half Baked Takes came back to the streaming world, ran into me again, and I was like, why do you keep bringing up the civil rights movement as a thing to me? Why do you keep bringing up slavery being abolished as a thing to me in this conversation? Feels a little, and yes, that's a low blow. That's the easy road. But, like, at the same time, you keep softballing it. Like, you keep meatballing that shit, and I'm finna Sammy Sosa that motherfucker. Bang!
She's racist. For sure.
Oh my god!
Why did I just get blamed for this?
I'm sorry. Somebody said it was me. Was it you, Meadow?
No, I said that.
Can I just wanna say something. Please. Go ahead, Tabby.
Wait, actually, wait, hold on.
No,
This is what we're going to do.
I kind of want to say
I kind of really want to gain control of my own panel and y'all please let me speak. I want to hear from Z, right? We said a lot towards Z. I want to hear from Tabby. Tabby hasn't been able to speak for 10 minutes. We have to have some type of order, and that's the reason why I had the show thingy on. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and let Tabby speak, and then as soon as Tabby's done, Z, I'm gonna put you on the top and give you 2 minutes to explain everything. Are you cool?
I mean, that's not fair. Z was in the middle of speaking when she was dropped.
Okay, so y'all want Z to go first, and then Tabby?
I was in the middle of this entire fucking
I got you. 1 second. Z can go first, and then Tabby, and then we'll go back to
Yeah,
regular
let her
panel.
finish. You can't say she's got to finish and then put people before her when she was in the middle of speaking.
You know
when she
what?
got
You're
dropped.
right. You're right. You
Go
ain't me up
ahead.
there. Wait,
No,
hold on.
I was just going to explain what the tour stop is for. So the tour,
I'm actually going to put you first. 1 second. I need y'all. I want to make. I'm not because I refuse to do the over speaking thing again. That was really frustrating, even for
Also,
me.
let's
as
try
the
and do
host.
this without being microaggressive. Thank you.
Yeah,
That
please.
as well. 100%.
And can you also
yeah,
please
you
just like
screamed at
address-
the top of your lung, and then okay.
I'm sorry.
Say something.
Like,
I'm
was
just
after
wondering,
you were
do
being
you guys
weird.
want to hear about the tour, or are we just like?
I would.
We're going to Z. Z, you got a minute. It's okay. Z, you got a minute. So sorry if you want a little bit longer.
No, it's fine. A minute's great. So, I mean, the whole purpose of following Charlie on this specific tour is because
They're following Charlie Kirk on this tour. I see. Now we finally have a point of clearance somewhere down the road. Yo! Red Cyber Dragon.
Charlie's been doing this for 15 years with zero pushback from the Democratic Party. He goes to these college campuses, he goes into these frats, he infiltrates them through Turning Point USA, and that's why we've seen a massive increase in Gen Z, specifically young white male Gen Z voters. That is one of the areas that our organization actually, so that way we don't continue to lose voters through the process. So we figured who would be the best people to speak to those voters, and we picked Parker and Dean for that specific reason, because if we're trying to go after white young boy voters, we should go after them with young white boys, right?
I have never heard someone in my life spell out the game plan after someone told them what was wrong with the proposed game plan.
That makes sense. We will not, this is not going to be the only thing that we do. We are going to continue to go to other places and go for other communities and try to get people registered to vote. That is the purpose of this. We can't do voter
So it's a white boy voter registration reach out tour. So why you got a bunch of niggas on it?
registration on this very first stop because we don't have the infrastructure.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm gonna let you go, Tabby. Then we'll go back to what she wanted to finish saying.
I wanted to have a one-on-one with her. Really, that's why I'm okay with letting her finish. But I wanted to have a dialogue with her, without.
Okay. Let me take you this off real quick then, if that's the case. I'm gonna let her finish her sentence as well when I take this off, and then I want you.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right, Z. If you wanted to finish your sentence or finish what you were about to say, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that that's the purpose of National Ground Game and this tour is to register voters to vote, okay? Because we're going to defeat MAGA. That's all I was here to say. I'm going to now exit. I appreciate the feedback. If you guys want to give us more feedback, please do. As I said, we will be going to other communities.
Do you actually appreciate that feedback?
I just want to say something, and she did. She said,
"Talk for the longest." I really have.
Can I please just say this?
Tabby has been as well. To be fair,
sorry,
Tabby's been like super
I don't-
quiet during this entire thing.
It's because I literally was waiting to have because I was going to ask you a few things because I thought, I'll be honest. No, wait, because like I feel like a lot of everything else that she said got taken away from the main thing that honestly irritated me. That I feel like she had to have defended because. How are you going to sit here and say a room full of people of color talking about something being disorganized when you've only been here for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Is somehow causing racism towards unknown BIPOC people that you claim are working on the back end of this.
Doing all the grunt work.
Yeah, that's why.
Wow. So what I said at the beginning of this hour-long video that I have now recorded and compiled was correct in the first place. She got a fetish for employing and having under her POC. That's just it. Lib's gonna lib. Slave master's gonna slave master.
That's what I wanted her to explain. Y'all took it everywhere else, but I'm forcing her to actually stand on that and explain how that was racism.
Yeah. But I can definitely see that.
I've been waiting to speak since I got.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I thought you were here just to be here.
No. Do I look like a loser?
Yo, stop it. Chi and then Meadow. How about this? Chi and then Meadow and then Julianne and
So we don't need to watch the rest of it. So at the end of the day, as you've sat through this entire experience, I'm just telling you right now, if it feels like it's petty TikTok conversations, it's much more than that. It's always been much more than that. And I think that's what we need to focus on moving forward, is that people get burnt out. Things are going to get pricey. Things are going to get dicey. People are getting sent to a fucking prison, man. A terrorism prison. And then our government's like, oops, no can do, sir. Can't bring back, don't know nothing. The people you choose to lead your movements now, and this is a wagered thought. This isn't conjecture. I'm not betting on this or planning this. The people who you let lead your movements now are probably going to be the last choice you get. Like, as far as choosing is concerned, this will probably be the last choice you get. So just remember that. The paradigm shift. You know what I do? Damn, they really clean that white lady up. 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 Ooh, a little John Cena on it. Clean the white lady. They clean her up real good. Clean that white lady. Clean up real good.